Good morning, good morning. Let me get this set up, moved over. Get my little thingy started here. Where's my pen? I've lost, there we go. Got my pen. All right, so here we go. It's up here. That there in case I have a client phone call. All right, so this is going to be all right, so this darn it. So I have pardon me, darn it. I think I have a 3. I kind of want to make it 8. I need to play around with my brackets here. My frames. That's not a square. Yeah, that's better. Actually, that's, well, it's close to a square. Close enough. So I've got a lot of, I'm gonna have to figure this out. And I think I want to do something different, actually. I think I want to do an old, actually, I think I'm going to do it like this. Hello, happy Thursday to you too. I wonder, actually, okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. I'm gonna, this is gonna be a long darn comic. Oh, okay. Okay, actually might be a little smaller. So I do this. And I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. So this is a kind of a follow-up to Coconut's Meowzilla comic where she gets stuck on the diving board. So I'm trying to map out I need enough room for, I kind of just want to make it, it's going to be a long one, but some of these are going to be really small. Oh God, she's got like a Jay Leno chin. I kind of need to, the pacing is wrong. I know I want this because you've got to see that she's still afraid. And then she needs to notice her ears are going to be down, then her ear perks up because she hears something over here. And it's Granny Bear and Boob cheering her on. And then she gets her courage, and then this is where actually I could combine one. I could combine her running and jumping like here on the bottom of the board, on the end of the board. And then I want her, do I need the splash in the water? The splash, I need the splash, but I don't want to put another, I don't want to, I want to show her getting courage. So I think that I could potentially delete one of these frames. I could delete her climbing the board because it shows her, I could combine, but that's a tiny frame right here. Oh shoot. Oh no. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep it this way. So there's some text with this one. All right. This is going to be a long one. But I'm going to get rid of that, and I think this is good because I want to keep the important thing on here. So when she turns and you see her climbing, and you see from the back, I'm going to have these tiny wings pop out of her back. And then they're going to grow, and then she's going to leap and be soaring through the air. And then she's going to get a hug from Granny Bear and Boop down here. But the text is... Sorry, my throat is kind of closing up today. Through facing our fears, we often grow wings with which we can soar. So I've got, you know, she's looking at her thing. She's really scared. Then she gets, she hears them, you know, cheering her on. She gets her courage, and then her wings pop. Tiny little wings. But then they grow bigger and bigger. And then she leaps. And then she gets her splash. I don't think I need the splash. I think it'll be okay. I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to have to end, it's going to be a shorter, well, it should have been a longer stream, but I was struggling mapping this thing out. But I finally got it figured out with that little bit that I had left kind of uncertain. Yeah, I think splash can be inferred. Because she leaps and then she's in the pool and you see like all the water splooshed everywhere. Because the important thing here is the action of her overcoming her fear. I could do a splash. I could do a move this down just a tiny bit and do a splash text frame. Sploosh. Why don't I do that? That'll work, because that'll satisfy. Oh, that's going to be a long comic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I have one left over. But since carousels are now 20, carousels are now 20 swipes long. I've heard the rumor. I have seen it. I don't believe I've been able to do it, but then again, I haven't tried to actually upload longer than 10, so maybe I'll try it. All right, I'm happy with this. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to group this in sections. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. So what's going to be my saving grace on this, because it's such a long comic, is I have sections of that are going to be shorter, like just her with her face or her getting her courage. So this is going to take a while. This isn't going to take a while at all. This is going to be easy, and then this last one. So I'll have 4-ish frames that are a little bit more difficult. I'm so glad they have extended the number of carousels. I take a lot of plant pics on my walks. Oh, awesome! I do that too. I like whenever I go, you know, someplace irregular, off the beaten path, I'm always paying attention to textures and flowers. And oh gosh, there was one time I went to the Japanese garden here. It's like downtown. There's this little. It's not little. Oh god, it's Herman Park, and then that's the main part of it, and then they have like little outlying areas. They have the Japanese garden section, and they have a couple others. And so this Japanese garden section, I was like taking more pictures of the plants and the trees and the actual, you know, build out that they had done, which was beautiful by all accounts. But it was just kind of funny. It was like, ooh, this tree, and you know, I'm sitting there just taking pictures of the trees. But yeah, no, it's neat when I find when you find just some neat stuff, like neat textures. I especially feel like my reference library for textures is it's not a little, it's shallow. And I need to extend, especially like in forest settings. I really need to get down and study some of the ground cover and the plants there, so I can add different shapes to my forest scenes and meadow scenes, because I do a lot of those. And the sun is coming out, which is lovely because it was raining just a little bit. And I should be okay because it's far enough overhead that it won't bake me in here alive, but we'll see. Well, I have my fan. It's usually on 1. I've got it on 2 today. And the problem with that is, where is my text? There we go. The problem with that is the higher the fan kicks up, it circulates the air, but it starts to dry out my eyes. So if you see me blinky, I'm kind of looking like I'm generally confused. I'm just trying to keep my eyes from drying out. The only way I can kind of keep it cool enough in here. And I've tried directing airflow, because it's kind of ironically funny. The air conditioner unit is literally like sitting right above my head, but the like not the unit itself, but the blower, like it goes from the outdoor units into what I guess is the unit that that's it's combined with the heater, I think, but that unit is like right above here, so that's the source of everything going out. But I'm actually on the end of the line, so it goes everywhere else except here. So I've tried closing some of the extra vents on the ceiling to try to push a little more airflow in here to mix results. And it's that way in winter too. I get hot in the summer and cool in the winter. Cold in the winter rather. So I've got my extra fan, and then I have my little extra itty bitty space heater, which I love. It's like a tiny little Vornado. I think it was only like 20 bucks or something, but I put him right by my feet, and that keeps me warm enough. Oh, I'll show you. Hold on a second. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? Let's fix you. Move over just a smidge. And I gotta do the same thing here. And thankfully I haven't. Well, I need to smidge this one. That's alright, so let me just get this finished real quick, this frame. Spin to win. Alright, I'm gonna show you. Here's the sticker stamp sheet that I was working on yesterday. So what I'm gonna do here, I did those little extras, and the only thing, these are my cut lines. I've got to make them a little bit more precise, but I was just taking my pencil tool and drawing around and just kind of doing it the lazy way. I didn't like the results, so I'll probably just I'll either take the pen tool and do it that way to be a little bit more precise on those. But these are easy. I just have to offset. Unfortunately, I had to make the little scalloping on the edge a little bit more open because I'm not sure. This is a pretty small sheet. So I don't know if a big routing machine can actually make those tiny little edges. So I opened this up a little bit. I think it'll still work okay. I need to bleed this backing out so it's not going to have this gray edge. So this is where it's actually going to be cut, and then I'll have to bleed, just kind of offset this just a little bit so I have a little extra there if it shifts. Extend those, but then this is going to be my cut line for the actual stamps. So I think it worked out really cute, and I just need to make sure my settings are good here. They have a certain, this is a new company I'm working with, Jukebox Print, and they have different settings than what I'm used to. Like Sticker Mule had really wide settings, and then Sticker App has closer settings, but it's a little bit different. So with every single company you use, it's all just a little different. So like these guys, I think it's like, I want to say it's like, it's not a quarter of an inch. It's like something tiny. It's like 0.05. You can get them close. So, and then they have a suggestion for bleeds too. So, they also have a suggestion for the bleed from where your cut line is as well. So I've got to make sure that's right. And this is right, because, I'm seeing this on my screen. I'm like, okay, that's going to be really, this is perfectly fine. There's plenty of room, but then you actually print it out. And I'm like, oh, that's really small. So like these guys are, I think I made them just a hair over 1.5 inches. So I may just go ahead and boop them down. Well, actually, no, I kind of like that. I actually like the 625. Like, these are 625s. Oh, I didn't group this. Christy, come on. Yeah. I think I'll make that even. Okay, so now I can do boop and boop and boop and a boop. All right, that'll give me a little bit more room. So it's, again, a hair over 1.5 inches for these. These are all within the range. I think this guy is going to be 0.75. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I was worried the leaves would be too small, but I think they'll be fine. So yeah, that'll give me just a hair extra room to move these guys over, to add that bleed in there, and then space these guys out accordingly. I think this one is a little bit close. I think he's a little close over there. But yeah, so I'm super excited about it. Oh, I need to add, okay, I should be able to move these up. I need to add my copyright. I may do that right here or here. But yeah, so I'm planning on finishing this up today. And I was happy I had, I think this ratio is good. I always get nervous because usually my sticker sheets, I have to price them around $5. And I get nervous when I don't like having less than 10 stickers on a sticker sheet that I charge $5 for. So I always like to try and get as many little extras in there that I can. And so this does that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 on there. I've got these nice big guys and then these little extras. And I think that'll be a good format for this, because then if I keep this format in this series, that I know that, okay, I have to make 6 designs for each season, and then I have room for 6 little extra bits. Whether it's going to be, you know, probably flowers in the spring and maybe little snow cats in the winter, or, you know, something along those lines. And then I have the main 6 stamp designs. Stationery sets, yes, I love those. I used to collect them. Sorry, my throat is just being weird today. So when I first started going to conventions, this was before many things happened that got stickers outlawed. Well, I don't know if they're outlawed anymore, but essentially the booths that were selling stickers and stamp sets and all of that, they could no longer bring those. And that was, you know, maybe sad, because I went to this one, it was Kwai Gifts, I think. They're out of Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure they're still in business, but they would always come to like A-Kon in Dallas, and that was my first stop. I'd always, you know, during setup, I'd, you know, poke my nose around and I'd look to see what new stationery sets they had brought, also sticker sets, and so that was like my treat at A-Kon every year. But then they had to stop bringing the sticker sets because, and I think this is partially my fault, at Anime Fest, which is also in Dallas, different hotel, one year I was giving out Happy Paper stickers, and these kids come up to the booth and like, can we have more stickers? And I was like, oh, of course, you know, I was so happy that they loved the stickers and they loved Happy Paper, so I gave them a bunch. And then we were leaving the convention hall, and the convention hall in this particular hotel, if you've ever seen, you know, pictures of the Dallas skyline, there is a giant ball rotating. It's actually a restaurant, but it's attached to a hotel. And this is a hotel convention center, and this is where that particular convention was at. The convention space itself is kind of, I wouldn't call it in the basement, but it kind of is on a basement type level where you go down an escalator. And then you go up it to get back to the hotel proper. Well, we get to the escalator, and the kids had put Happy Paper stickers all the way along those rubber railings that, you know, circulate as the escalator is going up and down. And I was like, oh my God. And yeah, I think after that they outlawed stickers, and they had also put them in the elevator. But nobody ever came to us and grumped at us, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. give a bunch of stickers out ever after that. But after that, I noticed that a lot of conventions were banning the free giveaways of stickers. So I'm thinking that that was part of the problem. I don't know, but yeah. So after that, they stopped bringing their stickers. They still had the stationery sets, which made me happy, but I used the stationery sets that I collected over the years to write to my mom, and I think she enjoys that. She likes, it's funny because we text and we do, electronic communications, whatever, all the time, but we also like to exchange snail mail letters. So I don't know, it's nice to get real mail, because usually it's just a bunch of, advertisements and junk and, fix your pool and all that good stuff. It's like Comics for Coco discovers stickers, and yes, exactly. I think that's part of the inspiration for those. Except she didn't destroy private or public property. Well, she did. Yeah, yeah. It was on a smaller scale, so it was easier to clean up. That's what I'm sticking to. I think I still have video somewhere of that convention and discovering the happy paper stickers going up the escalator, but I am very hesitant to actually post it. Even though it's like from 2008. I mean, many years ago, but those are centered. There we go. One has to wonder where, I know. Well, at anime conventions, they're often, well, okay, I can't say that for contemporary one. I'm going to call them contemporary, Jesus. For current running anime conventions, I haven't actually been to one in a long time. But back, around 2006, running all the way to 2014, it's interesting because 6, 7, and 8, I would see parents with them, and they would kind of be the credit card. They would come with their kids, and the kids would kind of go around to the booths, and then when came time to pay, it would be mom or dad with the payment. But I think with the invention and proliferation of smartphones and payments like that, the parents kind of filtered out because they started to just not be as present in the conventions, and it was really more just kids going in with their groups, friends, and what have you. I didn't see as many parents walking around. And it's, I wonder what is it really, smartphones? Because I'm thinking, like, when did the whole tap, phone thing, that's really only been within like the past 5 or so years. I mean, you've got, how long has Apple Pay been around? It's been, because I'm tracking back, because I know in 2008 and 9, we were still kind of stuck on the stupid machines for credit card payment processing. You would get a processor. That was before Square Up really became a thing. But once they did, they like swept the conventions, because the dealers would, I kid you not, they would literally in certain places like New York, we'd be running around with these machines trying to get a signal to get a credit card transaction to go through. And in Javits, in particular, you could get no signal except in this one corner by the windows. And literally every moment of the day, there are at least 4 or 5 dealers over there holding up their machines trying to get signal. But once Square came through, that obliterated that market for the the payment processors in those machines. And you started seeing the little squares, you know, attached to the phones. And I remember being so nervous. I was like, how could anybody ever trust this credit card transaction? I'm just handing my phone over to someone. Okay, sign here. I mean, I remember being nervous about that and being like, gosh, what are people going to think? But it was just, you know, par for the course. And, you know, everybody seemed to, you know, understand it, get it, and go along with it. And I think it was probably a lot because, oh, I need to, that was, answer this. It's Ariana. There we go. Did that work? Okay, there we go. All right. But yeah, so it was, you know, it was just kind of a progression. And then once those squares came in, that was just a miracle for the longest time. You could just bloop and it was, your transaction was done. It went through, and, you know, the only problem would be cell service connection. And some carriers I thought was very interesting. There was a point where there are usually 3 of us at the booth, and I was on a different carrier. I think at one point we were all 3 on different carriers, and in certain areas and conventions my carrier was best, and at that time I think it was T-Mobile or Sprint or something, and then Verizon was better at certain places, and then other ones were certain, you know, places were better there. So, but now it seems like at Comic-Con, at least, I have had, you know, 0 problems. And I remember there were a few years where it was a little sketch. Verizon wouldn't work, T-Mobile wouldn't work, but this other one did. And so we were kind of reliant on this one phone to get the transactions to go through. But so that was, you know, I would say Square came about probably 2010-ish and on. I'd have to guess if it came down to it, because I remember the last year I was working, maybe 2009. I can't remember if we had Squares at New York or not. I know in 2008 we did not. But then you've got the tap to pays, and that probably, I'm gonna guess maybe 2018. Trying to remember when we got the little bricks, because it was chip and then it was tap your card, and now it's, you know, tap your watch, tap your phone, whatever. And I have drawn next to nothing here, so I gotta not, but yeah, it's really kind of amazing how technology has developed and changed throughout the years, and just and how things like, you know, convention boothing has changed along with it. I mean, that all being said, I do see a lot of parents at San Diego Comic-Con. I see everybody. I'm trying to think, when I see young kids are usually with their parents now. And like older teens, preteens. Gosh, I'm trying to think. They tend to walk around alone, I guess. I mean, gosh, I'm just trying to remember. I'm gonna go ahead and make this one a 50%. But yeah, it's kind of, I mean, you know, that whole payment and all, just how it changed so quickly. And it was a matter of one convention. We saw other dealers with a little dongle, like, you know, plugged into the phone audio jack. And it took a matter of one convention to see that. And we're like, what is it? And they told us, and okay, we're getting that. And yeah, that changed things online too, because prior to that, like having Square and PayPal capabilities, you had to have that same merchant account to attach to a website store. So it wasn't, you know, something like, you know, because Shopify has Shopify payments now, and then you can attach PayPal and you can attach other payment gateways. But that was actually used to be attached to a merchant account, which was just attached to a bank. And that's how you got those machines. The machines were like, some of them were like $900. And I remember one of the things that, it wasn't one of the things, it was the defining moment that we had. Was it anime? I want to say it was in New York. The machine for the merchant account left us, and we had no way to process credit cards. And so we ran out and got those Square things and got a Square account, because they, which is totally ridiculous. I'm remembering this now. There was some error with the machine and it broke, and they were like, you know, call us on Monday, we're closed on the weekend. And conventions are on the weekend. How can you, as a payment processor and a merchant, not be open for your customers and tech support over the weekend? I mean, the weekends are traditionally when a lot of people, you know, go to malls, they go to markets, they do their shopping, you know, on the weekends. So that actually was what switched us. Instead of seeing, you know, well, that was part of it. We saw other dealers with it, and we ran out and we got those that night. But yeah, that was, and they, you know, they did it to themselves. I mean, they really, truly did it to themselves with their crappy customer service. And I think, you know, big companies like that, because at the time there were maybe one or two big merchant account companies that were handled through banks, they get complacent. They say, oh, well, they have to go with us because we're the only ones here. And that's when big market disruptors like Square can come in and really shake things up. And they truly did. Because now, you know, when you look at things, everybody has those little swipers. Like, you know, Capital One was quick to make their own swiper, and, you know, all of these different companies, credit cards, and PayPal tried to get in on it. And it just was, yeah, all of a matter of these big companies becoming complacent and not taking care of their customers. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just kind of, you have one job to do. This is your business. Do it. Do it well. Keep your customers happy, and it's not that hard. But it is hard for these big companies, I guess. Alright, so I need a diving board reference because I don't want to draw a diving board without a reference. Now I see these big platform ones, but I did not, okay, this is the classic that I used. Okay, so I want to use the classic kind of, this one's a little bit tall. I'm not going to set Coconut up on one of those. I want her to have a classic, just single level. I got up on one of those big things. It's like 10 feet above the pool just once and never again. It took me forever to get up there, and it was not an experience that I want to repeat. All I need is just one with the ladder, kind of like an Olympic one, but that seems like it's I'm either getting tiny diving boards or like Olympic diving boards. Like the platforms, the multi-platforms. I just want a close-up of that one. That one right there. That one is close to right there. Best diving boards in Tucson. Okay. Let's have platforms on them. That's a little tall for my beanie. That right there. Okay, so there's the, and there's just the platform main part of it. That thing seems pretty standard because it's repeated a lot of different locations. I wonder if there was just like one main diving board company that made these things for a while. How to do a backflip on a diving board. You know, even on the shorter ones, the rhythm of it, I felt like I was kind of not in step, I guess is what, because I felt like I'd be walking on it and then it would throw me off balance and then I'd kind of flop off it. Ooh, those are cool. Those are really cool. Gosh. Is that an Olympic facility? Because that sure looks like a... Okay. My diving board search is not coming back very fruitful. I've got to think if the diving board is right here. Oh, that's a cool one. That one's made out of... This is made out of stone. That's the one I'm looking at right here. Well, let's see here. Alright, so it's like 2 platforms, and it's pretty far back from the water, so let's see here. How do I want to do this? If she's standing, this is going to be the one that's near gotta figure out how to keep my window on coconut. Oh, that would be cool. Very, very much so. How it started and how it's going. Like she's scared on the edge, and then, you know, she's like going up to the tallest diving board. So technically, it needs to be something like this, and this is not even going to be here. This is the underside of the diving board. And then these are the I could have another character running on the diving board. Minutes I have done not a lot on this stream. Done a lot of talking. Got a meeting with a potential wholesale deal that could be exciting. Hoping it will be. So that's a Zoom at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to give myself a little extra time to set things up and get things pulled. I think this will work. Actually, I think this will work fine. I just need to it just needs to be suggestive enough of a diving board and hey, this is a pool, so it doesn't need to be an industrial blueprint. It just needs to be recognizable enough. And I'm going to have all of this in shadow, and she's going to be in light, so that'll draw attention to her even more. She's so sad. Oh, I don't like drawing them sad. It's okay. It'll pay off. I need to work on her expression a little bit. Oh, I kind of like it where she's like, is that going to be too much? Is that okay? I think you can still see it. I feel like I drew her a little bit too thick on the lines, but alright, so let's jump back out of Coconut's group. I can delete this. I've got enough going back here. Erase her. And I'm just going to do some general, like, maybe some inner tubes over here. Just kind of, maybe a couple of pool noodles. And then let's get this. Maybe a little bit more on that, and then I'll Guess you can tell it's somebody on the diving board. I feel like this needs to change. This one needs to be, because when the foot is down, like the pad of the foot is up and here's the heel. Is the toe. Toe is down. Oh god, now I'm trying like a horse. I need to not make it too complicated. That'll be good enough, I think. And I just need to fix this so it actually looks like a foot. All of this some extra detail going on the diving, but I want to get like show that she's standing right there. And she's looking at this diving board. She wants to have the courage. Done. 238. Oh god, the video looks weird. Okay, I think I have her tipped the wrong way. So if I'm looking at this, I want them to be standing over here. So she needs to be tipped the other way. There we go. Why does she look so weird? Let's just get rid of all the extra stuff. I'm going to redraw it. I'm going to bring down her, but she's like, she kind of drew it down a little bit. There we go, that's better. Fix her eyes here. Better just to not have her mouth. Save there. I'm gonna go ahead and log off stream here. And sorry it was so short, I didn't get through much today, but I got, you know, this mapped out. And again, these aren't gonna be that difficult. This is going to be just a ladder and, you know, her back, and then, you know, she's get courage. And then this is going to be difficult because I got to figure out the kind of the run and the jump, and the leap is going to be easy, splash easy. This is going to be a little bit more because they're hugging her by the side of the pool. So shouldn't be too bad, but I really like this one, and I'm excited to finish it. I really like I had so many paragraphs written, all these different too wordy bits that just wasn't sitting right, and finally I figured it out. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and do my ending screen. Thank you so much, Sharon. I think it'll come out really well. I think this will be one of my favorites of recent ones. But yeah, I look forward to finishing this one, and I probably am going to try and experiment with the extra carousel pieces on Instagram, because this will end up at 9 with just the comic, and then I'm going to try to go ahead and put in my product promos and click-through promos, as I usually do, but that'll extend it to 11, so we'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.